Today, my little chow with Lowers, I am changing my religion. Vegetarian, tofu black bean sauce. Let's do it. So if your only experience of Chinese food is from takeaways and restaurants, you might be fooled into thinking that Chinese food may not necessarily have all the healthy options for you. But that is very far from the truth, which we are going to prove starting from today. We are going to cook you tofu and black bean sauce, which is not only really tasty, but is totally vegetarian, vegan even, and is really a healthy option. So for this recipe, you are going to need some firm tofu. This is 220 grams, 1 tablespoon of black beans, 1 pepper, a courgette, half a white onion, 3 cloves of garlic, 1 chili pepper, optional, 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of dark soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of sugar, a tablespoon of cooking oil, approximately 200 milliliters of plain water, a good pinch of salt and pepper, a tablespoon of corn flour mixed with water for thickening. Right, my little home chefs, tofu is a new ingredient to the channel, but it's probably not a new ingredient to you. It's made out of soybeans. It's packed full of protein, low in fat, really healthy. However, it doesn't have much flavour on its own, which kind of lends itself to what we're trying to do here, because what it does do, it absorbs all the flavours that you put it with. So if we're going to make it with a sauce, like the black bean sauce we're going to do today, it's going to soak up all the flavours and become the flavour of the sauce. So if you do your job right with the sauce, this is going to be absolutely delicious. And it's great substitute for, well, I wouldn't call it a substitute for meat, it's an alternative to meat, because it's a protein source and it's super healthy for you. And today we're going to cook it in my favourite way, the black bean sauce way. So we're going to take it and cut it into cubes. Take a sharp knife and carefully slice it down like so, and then we're going to cut it across. You can use a chopping board if you like. I'm just trying to show you how easy it is with a sharp knife, and then cut down the middle like so. Okay, and this should be enough for about 2 people. And this sort of size, if you cut them evenly, they'll cook evenly, and that helps. So we're finely chopping the garlic because we want all the flavour of the garlic to go into the sauce as much as possible. And the finer you chop it, the more juices are released into the sauce. So I'm roughly chopping the peppers. I'm using a red pepper today because it's a little bit sweeter than the green ones. Also, to contrast with the rest of the colours in this recipe, we're using courgettes, and that means the red will contrast nicely against the green. And also with the kind of creamy, pale colour of the tofu, just to add a little bit of visual punch. As they say, you eat with your eyes as well as your taste buds. The courgette I'm going to cut up quite chunky because I don't want it to melt into the sauce, which things like courgettes can do if you're not careful. So I'm just going to cut these quite big, so it's still got some bite in it when we actually eat it. It's nothing, well, it's not as nice if it's overly soft. We need a little bit of something to get our teeth into. And I've just chopped the onion quite rough because then it cooks in about the same time as the rest of the ingredients. So for the optional chili, we top it, and then we take the membrane and the seeds out because they're really hot, and then we're going to just finely chop them. Obviously, get a chili that suits your preference for how hot you want it. Again, you don't necessarily need this in the recipe, but I like a little bit of kick to my black bean, which is all good. Right peeps, the next stage is to put the tofu into some boiling water carefully, and that's going to start the cooking process off, and we're going to do this for about 3 or 4 minutes. Right guys, so this has been simmering away in here for about 4 minutes now. So I'm just going to set it aside and let the water drain off. The reason why we do that at all is because simmering it changes the texture of the tofu. It firms it up, so therefore it can take more vigorous cooking. As we're going to stir fry it, we need that because we don't want it to mush up or break up too much. I mean, it's quite soft anyway, so I'm going to expect a little bit of breaking up, but not a lot, especially since now we've simmered it. Right people, now on to the fun bit, the stir frying. First of all, we're going to need some cooking oil. So we're going to put in about, I don't know, about a tablespoon of cooking oil. Get that hot, get it nice and hot, spread it around your wok. So the first thing I'm going to put in black beans and the garlic, get the aromatics going. Be careful though not to burn the garlic because it goes very bitter. Okay, just get that going. That'll start to infuse into the oil and the oil's going to coat everything, which means the flavour is going to be transmitted all over the place through the oil. Okay, so, wow, that smell never gets old. Right, so now I'm going to add the onions and the chilies, some more aromatics, and then the courgettes and the peppers. Okay. Of course, the well-known fact about Chinese cooking is that we never overcook anything, or try not to. So we do it fast, we do it hot, and we leave a little bit of a bite. And that's what the aim of it is here. So we can give it a toss, make sure that oil starts to coat everything, and get the black bean throughout all our ingredients, okay? Okay. So once that starts to get a little bit of colour on, you can see in the courgettes, it's just starting to colour, still very firm. Now I can add tofu. Alright. Obviously it's still quite delicate, even though we've done the simmering and the boiling. So treat it carefully, especially with your spatula or whatever utensil you're using. Tossing it is generally fine. Okay, at this point I'm going to add a good pinch of salt and pepper. I try not to give out finite quantities of salt, especially because it's hard to actually gauge it. What I would suggest is, once the liquid's in, once you've got a sauce going, taste it. See what you think. So don't add a lot of salt to begin with. You can always add more, but you can't take it away. Okay, that's looking pretty nice. Check it out. And even though we're stir frying, we've only used a tablespoon of oil, so you can imagine this dish with all these vegetables and just tofu and virtually no fat apart from the oil, it's super healthy for you. So we're going to add the water, 200 ml. What I've done is pre-boiled it so that when it hits the wok, it doesn't take the temperature down too much. Okay, so it should go into a nice sizzle straight away instead of kind of stewing. Okay, get your flame on. I like that. Actually, that might become a catchphrase. Flame on. Of course, that won't make any kind of impact on you if you're using electric. Okay, so I am going to add the tablespoon of light soy sauce and my teaspoon of dark soy sauce. I love dark soy sauce, and The reason why we're adding it here is for the extra little bit of sweetness it brings, and also the colour, because black bean sauces are kind of a nice rich dark brown, and that's what it helps with. Okay, to that I'm going to add my teaspoon of sugar and give that all a nice little stir. And as we're doing this, the vegetables are starting to soften a little bit, but hopefully not too much. Okay, and I'm going to grab a spoon and I'm going to take a little taste of the sauce and see what that's like. That's pretty much bang on actually. I might add just a tiny bit of salt. I'm not sure if I actually need to, but I feel that I couldn't have got it smack on the first time. Anyway, I'll just add a little bit more. That should be fine. Give it a stir, taste it again. That's good. And all the time, the tofu is absorbing the flavour from the sauce now. And obviously because we've boiled it, it's not breaking up. It's holding out really well actually. It's really good. Okay, so the final bit, we're nearly finished. How quick is this? How long have we been doing this for? 3-4 minutes? 4-5 minutes tops? Quicker the better. Right, we're going to give this corn flour water mix a stir and then pour it in. And we want quite a thick sauce. We want to coat it. We want a nice thick sauce. Just add a little bit more water because it's all on a little bit. That's it. Okay. Add that in again. There we go. And corn flour gives us a nice kind of glossy finish to the sauce. You could use plain flour, but that kind of gives you a more grainy kind of sauce, a more opaque sauce, and I like corn flour because it gives us a nice looking sheen to it. And there you go guys, look at that. That looks gorgeous, even though I do say so myself. Let's get a bowl. And let's slide that in. He says, try not to make a mess. See, it gets me so excited. I lose control of my faculties. Look at that, guys. Tofu and black bean. Get your taste buds ready. Right guys, moment of truth. Let's have a go. Texture is soft but firm. It's soaking up all the flavour from the sauce. That's really satisfying actually. Really, really nice. Piece of courgette. Still nice and firm. Crunchy on the outside, soft in the middle. And the peppers. Brings that sweetness. And all the time you've got that black bean flavour running through it and the garlic. And just a hint of chilli. Really nice. It's not overly spicy. It's just bang on. I'm actually surprising myself because I consider myself a CCC, a card carrying carnivore, and I like this. So for you guys, you've got to try it. And it's, like I said, so super healthy. And with all the things going on in the world, it's good for the environment and all that sort of thing. So what's not to like? So people, if you like what I do, if you want me to bring you some more vegetarian or vegan recipes, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment, give me some suggestions, and I'll do my best to bring to you everything I can that'll make you happy. So hopefully see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.